Hi, I'm Jim Raffle. This is the Jim and Shelby Show, all things print podcast. I'm joined as always,
Shelby and we are coming to you from Dallas this time. Last time was Phoenix, now we're in Dallas. We just jet set all over.
What are we going to talk about today?
Today we're going to talk about something a little bit different. And it's come up in our everyday work, honestly.
Yeah.
We're going to talk a little bit about non-traditional source files for design, I guess.
Which would include AI.
It would include AI, but not only AI.
So I know we kind of came up with a list, and let's just get the list out in front of people right off the bat. Canva.com.
Canva, yep.
Padlet.com.
Yes.
Procreate, which is on your iPad sitting right here.
Correct.
Midjourney for AI image design.
Right.
And then we've also talked about the fact that even our email program, GetResponse, has the ability to generate some textual AI.
And I found early on with GetResponse, I do most of, probably all of our, let's be honest, I do all the email campaign marketing, but I started using GetResponse's AI program. And in this instance, we're just talking about words. We're not talking about images. And I liked it at first, and now I never use it. It has gone to the wayside. I end up rewriting almost the whole thing when I ask AI to do it these days.
And that's interesting because the first one or two that you did, I was impressed. And then it got worse.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, which is the exact opposite of what I've experienced with Midjourney. Midjourney, the things that, this completely non-creative, non-artistic person is now able to create really surprises me.
And we've talked about Midjourney before on this podcast. We've even had Marshall Atkinson on, who he does a newsletter on Midjourney, which is awesome if you are trying to get started with it. But we should tell you a little bit about what Midjourney is, I guess.
So Midjourney is a platform which exists inside of the Discord chat program. And it's what they call a bot. And it allows you to essentially send a prompt to the Midjourney servers that return an image. And
right, so you're putting in words and phrases.
So I might put in something like furry tuxedo cat wearing a hat staring off a cruise ship balcony.
Well, I thought you were going to go down to Dr. Seuss Lane right there.
No, I had to get cruising into this somehow, you know me.
Right.
And I've done things like that. And when I did things like that, close to 6 months ago now, when I started playing with Midjourney, it sort of worked. Now it pretty much works. It's amazing what that particular platform has done in a very short period of time, in my opinion.
Jim does a Midjourney share, not quite daily, but almost.
Daily, yeah.
Just look on Twitter at Raffle if you're interested in what he's coming up with. Now, Jim is doing this for pretty much no reason at all, except for his own amusement. He's doing it because I think it's the first time in his life he's been able to get across anything creative when it comes to art.
Yeah, that's true.
And imagery.
That's true.
So, now he has an outlet, which is great.
I'm like a 4-year-old with finger paints.
And sort of.
I'm serious.
Yeah. And meanwhile, I'm trying to figure out what Midjourney can do for us professionally. And that's really what we're talking about today because, for instance, you had me purchase the Procreate app, which is only available on iPad at the moment.
It's cool, though.
It is cool. But other than the fact that some of our clients are starting to use it as input source files.
No, they're getting
them. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
And so I it's relative. It's $13, something like that. So we both wanted to see it. And I was actually surprised that there is some real color functionality in there. Like there's the ability to drag red, green, and blue curves separately, which means you can do RGB color correction of an image. So, the thing that's like hit me while we've been sitting here is I like to color adjust some of the photography that I do just with my iPhone, whatever, when I'm on vacation. And to now be able to pull it into Procreate and move curves is pretty powerful. And then the other thing that that we've been kind of exploring with Procreate, Canva, probably all of them that we've been talking about, is they all have this really cool, export as a PDF for your printer. Wow. Right. As two people who work with clients, who are trying to do high-end color and have determined over the last year or so, what a lot of people in this industry have known is that really if you're doing high-end color work, you want a PDF X4A. Did I get that right? 4XA? X4A.
Sort of.
Export format, and it works better. It just does. And so maybe that's what they have rolled into their. And typically they'll have like low, medium, and high quality PDF export, and that's it. It doesn't tell you. It's not like working in an Adobe product where you can go in and see what's actually happening with the settings that you've picked. And so you're sending this to the printer thinking that you're sending them a perfect PDF, and your printer's going, what on earth did you just send me?
Sure.
And so you're probably better off to just export that image and let them bring it into Adobe and do what they need to do with it. That's, if you're on the design side, send your producers the lowest common denominator you can. In other words, a TIFF file, the actual raw images whenever you can, so that they can work with them. Unless you're working in the Adobe apps and you're sending them something they can open and in a platform where they have the level of control they need.
Right, and I wonder, I've even asked you, I said, hey, Jim, maybe we should invest and get a Canva subscription. And so far you've said, no, it's not necessary.
I have not.
Yes, you have. But there is a free version of Canva. But what I was seeing, though, is the thing with Canva is it was meant in the beginning, I think, to be a way for people to collaborate on presentations and share them easily. And I've seen a presentation of Canva that in that way, it's a very cool tool. But people were like, oh, I can create this presentation and send you 4 slides. Can you print them out in like, right. 100 by 56 or whatever?
Right.
And so now we're seeing people trying to use Canva as a print design,
right?
Output source file. And I just don't know how people are going to work with that. What I was looking at,
We found this thing on SourceForge, which we'll give you the link.
Yeah. So
it's a comparison of.
Part of what I'm curious about, honestly, is why are people leaving the core apps, Adobe, CorelDRAW? I mean, is it because more apps are out there now, more solutions, more AI, price,
complexity?
I wonder if it has anything to do with the Adobe Pantone thing not being available. Now. But anyway, I found this interesting comparison chart between Adobe Illustrator, Canva, and Procreate, and we have looked at all of them. Now, the one thing I will say right now that's Procreate, it works on pretty much your iPad, and that's it. If you don't have an iPad, too bad. And not even on your Mac desktop, just iPad, period, and that's it. So that's already kind of a problem for me. Canva and Illustrator both work on Windows and Mac, iPhone, iPad, Android, and Canva will work on Chromebook. But again, Canva is so presentation based. If you want to share presentations between people, you want to have several people work on one presentation simultaneously.
Collaborative tool.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm not really sure about its quality as far as exporting and sending files for print.
Right, and you did send me a link that I looked at. It was a YouTube video about exporting for print. And it also showed how to design for print using Canva. But I was still somewhat concerned about what is that PDF that's really coming out.
Skeptical, right. Yeah. And that's a question I have for all of these AI solutions when we're talking about colors and imagery. I don't know, when you make your Midjourney art, for example, you can say Fire Engine red, but what red are you getting? I don't think we are to the point that I've seen.
It's not a spot color for sure.
Right. And I just don't think we're to a point where we can depend on color through AI. That might be down the road for sure. And I'm not saying that people won't be creating images in AI and sending them to printers.
Our friend Marshall did address some of that, though, and that is that many of the images you create in Midjourney, for example, then you're going to bring them into another tool to edit them and prepare them for print. And that's really kind of what got me thinking about this whole thing, is that if people think you can just create something in Midjourney and send it to your printer and they'll print it, I mean, I guess, but you don't necessarily know what you're going to get, because, you know, what's the source profile, what's the destination, and that's for the 4-year-old with finger paints. That's what I like about Procreate. So I can create the image in Midjourney, pull it into Procreate, which we were just playing around with it, and I figured out a few things. I could do color corrections if I don't, you know, if the fire engine red's not the fire engine red I like, I can fix it, right? If I love the overall image, but the fire engine's not the right red, I can fix it. And again, me, you know, not someone with a design background, which is, it's both scary and empowering. And so it's probably very scary to you and very empowering to me.
You know me. I mean, I like to have organization and control. And I think, you know, at the moment, we don't have control of the color in AI.
We don't.
And so I'm not ready to start giving our clients test images that we've created through Midjourney or any of these other solutions that we're talking about, and saying, here it is, and we're going to start using this as a test image. You know, I did create a monochrome, what I asked it to create, a monochrome image, but is it really? I don't know.
I have a question. Not a question. I have an idea. Tomorrow we're going to have 10 people or 11 people in a class. We're teaching one of our confident color classes tomorrow in Dallas. I think we should do an informal poll of people's knowledge of these tools and if they're seeing them, because most of these people are producers.
Sure.
And we should do an informal poll if they're knowledgeable about these platforms we just talked about, and are they seeing digital assets come in this form. And we can report back on our next podcast.
We could.
I think that would be interesting.
Yep. And Jim and I guess we're kind of like skimming the surface here.
It's all you can do.
Because
it's all new. It's all new.
And we can't spend hours a week trying to dive deep into these programs until they become a problem. And what I mean problem is they show up on our doorstep when we're doing color management consulting.
We've already suggested that if you really want, like, for example, if you want to learn more about Midjourney, track down our friend Marshall's, is it Midjourney Experience? I think it's midjourneyexperience.com.
That's right.
He's got a newsletter you can subscribe to for like a whopping $100 a year. And it comes out every week on Monday, I think he told us. Yep. And I've only read the first issue. I really want to subscribe, but I barely have time to keep up with what I already am getting.
Sure.
But that first issue was such a deep dive. And if he's doing that every single week, you know, we can't do that on this podcast. First of all, well, maybe if we charge you guys $100 a year, but I mean, he's turned it into a business. It's part of what he does, so he can devote the time to it. We're really trying to give you guys what's top of mind in our day-to-day work and business, so that, you know, you can start thinking about, I need to learn more about AI. And, you know, like I said, go look at Marshall's thing. I am sure there's probably Canva newsletters. There's probably everything we've talked about today. There's a newsletter for it.
Or a YouTube video. There's some other ones that I've come across. Magicschool.ai.
Yeah, that was
You can
cool.
look at that. Padlet.com I've been recently made aware of. So I don't feel like I've only played around with that one in a very small brief time, but I felt like it wasn't as advanced as Midjourney.
Right.
As far as the
Midjourney is kind of the acknowledged leader right now in images. Yeah.
So, but for people wanting to get started for not a lot of money, it might be a good solution.
Midjourney is not expensive. Midjourney is $100 a year.
Yeah.
I make an image almost every day, and I don't run out of my, you know, subscription. So. I mean, there's higher levels. You can spend $1,000 a year, but if you're not a professional creating images on a regular basis, that's probably overkill. So, all right. Anything else, or should we wrap up?
No. We're in Dallas for our Confident Color class, which is going to be held at Mamaki's facility,
and then we're going Expo.
Yep, and then we're going to hit GPX Expo for one day.
Then I get to go home for a week, whole week.
We'll see.
I'm going home for a whole week.
We'll see.
And then I'm going to an undisclosed location for a week and another undisclosed location for a week. And then I'm sure Shelby will jam something in my schedule again.
Well,
and then we're up to ISA.
Yeah, ISA Expo is only a month away.
Which, okay, ISA, if you're coming, Orlando, it's the week of April 3rd, whenever April 13th is, Saturday.
It's the
week before that. Yeah. And on that Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, which is the 3 days of the show, at exactly 11 a.m. Eastern Time, you'll be able to find Shelby and I in the Mamaki booth, and we will be presenting it's a confident color presentation. It's not the whole day confident color training. It's a confident color presentation. Yeah.
It's a synopsis of the training.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe Mamaki's booth is 1435.
Oh, I didn't even know that. And so hopefully we'll see you there. If you want to meet us in person, it's a great way to do that. And other than that, I think we will see you at the next episode.
Okay.